push everyone else forward, and I'm not getting anything of what I need. No one's ever been like, you need to do this and blah, and this and this and this, and like this will help you.
Right.
Whereas I'm just always like trying to help others, and it's nice to have someone actually help me.
Good.
No, that's a good answer, and I believe you, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Now, talking is one thing. Let's see in a year from now if that book is complete.
Right, and that goes for both of us because we both said that here now.
Yeah.
So
I did that 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
And then, oh man, just honestly, anybody watching, The Best Year Ever by Darren Hardy, who's the owner of Success Magazine.
Yeah.
Publisher of Success Magazine.
I looked him up after we talked about him.
You'd never heard of him before,
Yeah,
right? Compound
yeah.
Effect? You never read that book?
Compound Effect is a big one. I've heard of the book. I've never read it, though.
Oh, amazing book.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of concept as The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. I don't know if you've read that or heard of him.
Yeah.
It's kind of
I've
just
heard
the idea of doing something small and then it gets a little bigger, a little bigger, a little bigger.
Right.
You know, if you've never worked out a day in your life, work out 1 minute.
Right.
Just do 1 minute. And then next day you might do a minute and a half.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But, yeah, so get The Best Year Ever. And I can literally attribute a lot of the growth to that book and setting goals and just the process of it. So rigorous and beautiful that I recommend it to anybody that I'm close with.
Yeah.
If they ever ask me any types of questions. Now, I've given that book out maybe 20, 25 times.
That many, eh?
Literally lots, because I had a team, right, that I was trying to help grow and with Vi.
Yep.
And I'd give that book out. And I think most people would last like 3-4 months and they'd stop. Because, you know, that feeling of excitement, determination is like, it's fleeting. It's the power to consistently do what you're doing long after that feeling of motivation is gone. Weared off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Worn off?
Worn off. Yeah.
Weared off. Worn off.
There you go.
So long after that feeling has passed, right? And I think that's the whole consistency thing. So I always challenge people, let's see if you can do it for a year. They say, I can do it.
Yeah.
Damn right, I'll do it. No.
Yeah.
Only person was Jeff. And he himself didn't even do it the first time. He stopped.
Good job, Lisa.
And then he did it the next day, the next year. He's like, you know what? I'm doing this. And he did it. And his life has fucking changed.
Absolutely,
His whole
man.
life
I
is
had him.
changing
I
now.
had him on here, sitting in your chair, and it was like talking to a different guy. And
Yeah.
he's awesome, man. He's got like,
Because he wasn't awesome before.
well, no, he was awesome. He was awesome before, but it was really awesome to see the changes. Lost weight, exercises regularly, and really just is going after everything that he wants. And and he also attributes it to the same thing. And you've done a lot of reading. I mean, you're mentioning books that I hear about in some of the audio programs that I do, but it takes me a while to read, so I kind of prioritize what I need to read first, right? And like, for example, Kevin Trudeau was talking about Napoleon Hill and his story and Think and Grow Rich and all that. I have that book sitting here. I haven't read it yet.
Oh,
right?
boy, it's like the best book ever.
It is, and that's a really cool story, actually, behind it. But so some of the books that I have, I just haven't gotten around to yet.
Yeah.
Right? So with you doing all this reading, and I'm sure there's so many different programs that are recommended in these books.
Right.
Have you done many of those besides?
I've done lots.
You've done lots. And this one is by far the one that's most impactful.
If I had to give one person anything, it's this.
Yeah.
It's definitely this.
Okay.
Because it's the true test of how badly do you want it.
Right. Fair enough.
Because it doesn't take a lot of effort. It really doesn't. But that's exactly why it's easy to do, but it's easy not to do.
Sure.
Right? Because if you know it just takes 2 minutes at the end of the night, you know, like, I'll do 4 minutes tomorrow.
Yeah.
Doesn't work that way. The moment you do that, you're it's better to have an apple a day than 7 on Sunday.
Dude, it's so funny that you mentioned that, because I was literally thinking when I wrap up this whole season of, I do a mental health podcast on Sundays right now that's all about with a couple other guys, Paulie O'Byrne and Scott Millen, and we focus on CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, exactly what we're talking about, switching those negative thoughts to positive thoughts. Right. And then at the end of that, I was thinking, what can I do that's really more beneficial? And I thought, you know what if I sat and meditated, and I said I was going to do that live for a full year, for a half hour every morning at 7.
A live meditation?
Live meditation at 7 in the morning for a full year, and I didn't miss a day. Because it's the same thing. Meditation, my meditation is different than your meditation. My meditation is sitting with your eyes open, and I'll teach it to you sometime, anytime you guys want. But the idea, this is the kind of meditation, it's actually called the Zen practice. Zen is just meditation. And it goes all the way back to sort of the samurai, and this is the way that they kind of, Buddha became enlightened, just by following this method. And I thought, you know what, if I can stick with this every day, which I'm doing okay at, but the same time is tough to do. And not that you necessarily need to do it at the same time. Same philosophy though. It's just like Bruce Lee said. It said, I don't fear the guy that kicks 1,000 times a day. I fear the guy that does one kick over 1,000 days.
100%.
So that's where it comes in, and that's something that this aligns with. I mean, if I was to do the meditation every day, I had to do that. You don't want to take on too much too, right? So,
yeah. I wonder, as far as meditation goes, having the live on there. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously meditation is to practice being in the now consistently.
Yeah.
You think with the live stream going on while you're meditating, you think that would interfere at all with the way that you're just closing out your...
That's interesting. It's an interesting thing to think about, but I think that the whole goal is to eventually build people that want to do it together through social media, because right now, if I want to do it with people, I have to go down the street to the Zen Center and I have to sit there inside, and it's inside a house.
Isn't that the first step, though, is doing it with other people, and then eventually you want to do it yourself?
Well, they say that it's always potentially better to do it with others. You can pick up others' energy, and you can always learn. There's always sort of a Dharma talk and things like that as well from the teacher. It's always better to have a teacher, especially that they say that you get to this place at some point in time of sort of emptiness, where you kind of lose. You don't care about pretty much anything, and this is where
my fear of meditation, man, because I know you keep doing it and we're gonna end up on a fucking park bench and just like, nothing matters. This is way better.
there is I mean, but you don't go into a trance. That's the idea, is that you don't trance out. That's something that can be dangerous,
right?
But when you go into a spot of emptiness, that's why the samurai loved the meditation, is they never had a teacher to pull them out, so they'd go to a place where it was easy for them to take lives. And by meditating, they became so focused that they could see other people's sword swings well in advance. You're so laser focused in that fight. No wonder they did so fucking well and no one could defeat them. But they also didn't carry any guilt or remorse, so they could just kill people and walk on with their lives, right? So there is
to all the serial killers out there, meditate. You'll be able to do it twice as fast.
Well, there is a place, and this is obviously beyond where I'm at, and I don't understand, but I have been told that it does happen, and that's why you need a teacher and you need to be with people, because you will go through some changes to get to where you need to be to become enlightened, which I know sounds kind of crazy to people that have never heard this before.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Yeah, but you have to go through the darkness to see the light, right? So it's kind of how it is. And I'm far from that, dude. Like, this is new to me within the last couple of years, but I try to stay at it as frequently as I can, and I read about it. And that's why I haven't read some of those books, is because I wanted to learn more about that before.
Man, I can't wait for you to do this program, man.
Yeah.
It takes everything that you're doing and just compiles it into what's important.
Really?
And you get rid of all the crap. You stop doing the crap.
Yeah.
It's just course correcting constantly and going to exactly where you want to go.
Right.
Yeah, I think you guys are going to love it.
Awesome. Well, let's high five on that note.
I was actually just thinking the same thing.
Yeah. So
I don't get a high five, and I gave
here. Well, I was expecting you to join in on that.
Well, you went directly to her, not in the middle.
All right, there we go. Because the middle high fives always seem to be the lamest, but that was good with you guys. I felt the goodness
right,
there.
That was all right.
It was okay. So on that note, do you guys have anything else you want to say for this evening?
I think I've said enough.
You have said.
I've said more than a co-host normally should.
No, but this is great because, I mean, Tiff's obviously admitted that she looks up to you and your advice and kind of thinks of you as
just a little taller
positivity coach in a way. But would you call him a positivity coach or more of like a strict drill sergeant type?
No, he's good.
He's good.
He's good, yeah. He has his moments where I'm like, okay, dude.
Does he ever ride you too hard?
Yeah.
Pun intended. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. Totally kidding.
No, I do tell him that sometimes though, and then he's like, okay, and then I'll be like, I need you to like take it back just a little bit. Just give me a little credit here.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
So a little bit
give her the credit.
A little bit of acknowledgement. So not enough positive reinforcement, would you say, after you've done something good?
No. He still does that. It's
okay.
Just, but sometimes
just not enough. She wants a ceremony.
No, I think he expects me to do a lot really fast. I think that maybe I'm not necessarily like
right
quite ready for it. But then I'll be like,
that's hard though. When you've made the amount of when you've grown as far as you've kind of come, it's hard to be patient with the people that still have to. I get that.
Of course.
No, for sure. I wouldn't say I'm not patient.
No.
I wouldn't say it's that. It's I just know what I had to do, man, and I know how fast I had to do it.
Right.
So I guess it's sometimes it's like I'm just giving the honest feedback of what I experienced.
From your experience, yeah.
And you may not think that you need to do that, or you may not think that you may think I'm being too hard on you, but well, I there's the track record to show that this is why you do have to work at that pace, or somebody else will beat you,
right?
So I mean, you can get upset that I'm giving you the reality check, but fine,
right.
I needed a reality check though.
Are you concerned about someone beating you? Is that a big concern for you, or would you rather just move at your own pace?
I wouldn't say it's about like beating me.
So you're not making it a competition, like
but you kind of have to, because you won't get those roles. Somebody else will,
right?
Somebody else will. That's working harder, training smarter, doing the thing.
So would you say that there always is a bit of a what's it in sales? The word I'm looking for, like an incentive. There's always a time frame that needs to be met.
I mean, I always think about this with music too. Like, when we would do music, and that's
urgency. There's always a sense of urgency. That's what I was thinking.
I realized music long term wasn't for me when I didn't want to work.
Mm-hmm.
When I wasn't willing to outwork the other person. That's when I realized, I had a realization like, hey, maybe this isn't what I want long term, because I know in order to get in the music industry, acting is the exact same way. I mean, everybody and their grandma wants to be an actor, actress, musician, dancer, all that.
Yeah.
You better outwork everybody if you want to make it to the top or make a comfortable living out of it.
Right. Right.
And so I think about the social media world, and for me, I'm not even a fifth of the way of where, in comparison to other people.
Sure.
And I work my ass off.
Right.
And I'm just thinking, like, how much more do I got to work? So it's just getting to the next level and consistently getting harder and harder on myself in a good way, and in a positive way. But man, I'm up till 4 a.m. working on a small piece of a video every day. Like,
right. Yeah.
But there's somebody up till 5.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I'm saying?
But they're probably sleeping the extra hour during the day.
Maybe
too.
they're not.
Yeah, maybe they're not.
But they're not. I guarantee you think you're working hard. Somebody's working harder.
Fair enough.
Somebody's working harder.
But does that take away from your moment, dude? Like, do you ever think, like, fuck, I'm not doing this, I should be doing that? Does that take away from your moment? Like, are you enjoying the journey?
Yeah, but there's certain things. Like, if I'm sitting here watching a movie or something, I'm like, when you could feel it, you're like, you're not enjoying the movie enough to the point
where it's worth your time.
If you're thinking I should be doing something else, go do it.
Yeah, turn the movie off, don't finish it, fuck off.
This movie is not going to help your life a year from now.
I hardly ever even watch movies anymore. I don't even have time to watch movies.
There's always something. There's always something that we're...
And then when I feel like if I am sitting watching a movie, I'm like, but I could be doing this and this and this and this.
Yeah, and you'd probably rather be doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Well, when you find what you're passionate about, you kind of want to be doing it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? And I think you found that. Is it fair to say that?
Yeah, but make no mistake, there's still incredible amounts of work that you don't want to do.
Absolutely.
Right? So even with your passion, and that word gets thrown around a lot. Like, just because it's your passion, that don't mean shit.
No. No.
It really doesn't mean anything. That's the first ingredient. That's a very important part.
At least you realize that. Most people go through their whole lives not even knowing what they're passionate about.
Right. And it's a lot of the times your passion is just what you're kind of doing deliberately anyways. Like, if you had the day off, what do you really want to do? That's, and it's not sitting on the couch. There's something that you're doing. Maybe you're like, you got a hobby of some sort.
Right.
And it's not video games either. There's something there. And whatever that is, because you're doing it for free, do that.
Yeah.
Do that thing. But know that you got to work on it.
Sure.
You got to work hard on it. It's just because you're good at it, you still got to work.
Right.
And that's the I think that's the word that a lot of people are afraid of.
Right.
Work.
Yep.
Well, it's my passion. I shouldn't really have to work too hard. Work.
Yeah. Well, so are you saying that I should up my masturbation from 5 to 10 times a day?
Yeah, you won't be able to do that, man. By the 6th time,
I'll get blisters, man. Yeah.
Nothing will come out. It's be air.
Anyways.
So that's my last words.
Those were great. Those are great last words. I appreciate that.
Do you agree? Picture of Tiff that you have here, by the way.
Oh, right behind. I know that was painted.
Have you seen this?
I got that just for you. Do you like all the naked women around here? It's just to try to get you to.
I